Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only HG Rugby and New John. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Woo! Top of the world,
Oh,
Martin.
Very happy. Very happy. How are you, Matt?
just gone deaf. Christ, how was that? Sorry, listeners, if you have to deal with the same pain I just did.
High as a kite, Matt. High as can be.
High as can be. I'll have some more you were taking then. Yeah. So we're all pretty happy after this weekend's events. So I'll be honest, I completely forgot the agenda right from the off. We won a game of rugby.
I suspect we're going to be talking about rugby. But before we do that, we just need to talk about the podcast. Because someone who's not here is, of course, Pringle, who claims he is sick.
Claims.
I think probably... sorry.
Do you want a second to finish your biltong before we carry on?
I'm really enjoying it. But if Pringle is sick, I suspect that he caught it off an Ulster fan because they are absolutely sick as parrots, I've heard. So every single one of them was sick to their stomach as they left the park. So he's probably caught it off one of them. But what that does mean is that Pringle is not here to tell a story, which is that he met a listener. Now, unfortunately, whoever you are, he has not got your name to us, so we can't shout you out directly. But the guy who met Pringle, shout out to you. Pringle sold, and this is under investigation currently with the Sosbans and Sidesteps Ethics Committee. He sold a Scarlets branded coat on Vinted because he says that he doesn't need 3 Scarlets coats.
Terrible.
We're not on board with that reasoning, but the fact is that he's done it. And a guy came around to his house to pick up the coat that he sold, and this guy got chatting to him, and this guy just says to Pringle, "Oh yeah, I was listening to this podcast in the week about these guys who went to Northampton. There was a guy who went on the bus and he had a great time. Have you ever been on one?" And Pringle's like, "Yeah, that was me. I'm that guy." So everyone was happy. Basically, is the end of the story. It's a happy story.
Value of that jacket has shot up now, though.
Yeah, Pringle's
now that it's had a famous owner.
Yeah, he didn't sign it. That's the problem. But how does he sign it? Does he sign it Pringle or does he sign it Benji? That's a big question.
The Benji formerly known as Pringle. That's what it is.
Or the Pringle formerly known as Ben. Which way round would we go?
He's known as both simultaneously. That's the problem.
This is the marketing for Benji though, is he can do one run of Pringle signed ones and one run of Benji signed ones, and then he's just quids in, and he can do a second production run without affecting the residual value of the first run. He's a marketing genius.
Okay. He's a marketing genius. He was found a love for biltong, and Jesus Christ, he's chewing. He's macking on that.
Real close to the microphone. That's
Going,
someone is going to enjoy this podcast way too much when they listen to it.
That is so wrong, so wrong. Okay, so we do have an actual game of rugby to discuss, do we not? Yes,
we do indeed.
I think so.
We do. Okay, let me try and skimmy on to the agenda. So, Pringle court story. Done, dusted. I don't know how accurate the retelling was, but we'll go with it. The performance. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't been able to watch all of the game. I've got the first half down. I've got snippets of the second. Obviously, the try, of course. But I was quite pleased. I was really pleased with how, basically everything went. Little miffed at how, maybe easy some of their tries came in the end, but they worked hard for them, so you can't fault the boys on that front. How do you boys see it? Also, you've managed to watch a full uninterrupted 80.
Yeah, I went with the performance. When it got to half time, I was like, okay, well, so that's the best 40 minutes of rugby the Scarlets have played this season by a long way. So I was thinking, right, the wind's going to be against us in the second half. I thought Ulster are a good team. I thought they probably are still favourites for this game. So I'm there thinking, even if we don't win this, I'm still happy because I've seen us play by far the best rugby that we've played all season. Clearly, there's something happening here. Clearly, there's something that's been rectified. So I'm contented enough, regardless of what happens from here. And even like when Ulster got that last penalty, or when those last penalties were exchanged, I was like, you know what? Probably, if someone wanted to tell me that Ulster were the better team on the day, I'd kind of be all right with that. Because it was a little bit of a smash and grab the way that it turned out. But I was like, yeah, but they're a good team. They're flying high in the league, and we've really tested them. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was a really engrossing game of rugby. I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I thought that we played well enough throughout, not perfectly, but well enough throughout. I was like, do you know what it is? It's been a good day of rugby. And then obviously the final moment happens. And I don't know about you, but it took me a while to register it. Like he's like crossed the line, flopped over the line, stood up, he's getting hugged. And my brain's going, Hugh, you need to celebrate. Something good has happened. But I'm just like, no, that can't be right. This doesn't happen to me. But it did.
Yeah. Honestly, that last try going in, like I was listening on, I had obviously the Premier Sports comms on through the radio in the car, and I think I've given my kids PTSD. I screamed so goddamn loud. I actually punched the roof of the car. I think my fist is still feeling it, if I'm being totally honest. I haven't, it was just a great experience. Like, we haven't been able to have, wins like this for, a little while at least. I mean, talk about a smash and grab. I mean, what they only led for 17 minutes of the game, and I think we led for 53. Well, however way you want to go.
But they were on top. For me, they were on top for the majority of the game.
They felt dominant for pretty much the entire second half, I would say. I think that's where that smash and grab feeling comes from, because the defensive effort from the boys was massive, but I think because it was just absorbing pressure, nonstop. It did really feel like, it did feel like a smash and grab from that point of view. I'm trying to see what the possession was the whole game. It says they only had 60% possession. The Ulster, it felt like 70 by the end.
It felt like we did not touch the ball in the first half until they scored that try. That's what it felt like. Even just listening to it, you could just hear just constant Ulster names going through phases, and then a random Scarlet name, water tackle, or McLeod's going for the jackal, doesn't get it, whatever.
Yeah, John Fox on comms on about 65 minutes says, we're doing a lot of looking left here. And he was right.
Yeah, I think he said, I'm starting to develop a crick in my neck at one point. Yeah. I was wondering if either of you were able, I didn't mention this before, but I don't know if either of you saw what the possession stats were for each half, because I felt like we had really decent attack in the first half. I felt like we held ball a lot more in the first half.
Yes. I was worried at halftime because I thought the wind is fairly with us, and the wind is a big deal in rugby. Like, I have seen a lot of games at club level, at least, be like 21-0 in one half and then 21-0 in the other half because of the wind. So I was thinking, I wonder if that's what's behind that. But, Sam Costello made a mug out of me, doesn't he? Because he turns out that he can kick a penalty into the wind, no problem.
Yeah, from a fair bit of distance. I mean, when you're into a wind like that, you've got to chuck an extra 10, 15 meters onto the length, because that's the sort of power you do need to put behind it. I mean, the wind really affected both of us. In that first half, a lot of their kicks kept being blown back short, and majority of ours went that wee bit too long. So, yeah, on balance, I think it was more of a swirling wind, and it actually, it helped both of us, and didn't help both of us in the end. Yeah, didn't seem to matter too much. What was it, 17-12 hard time? So what, 10-all in the second? So
have they had 2 or 3 tries disallowed though? Because I thought it was just 2, but then someone said they had 1 in the first half as well.
That's a good question. Which one? Yeah, there was a held up try in the first half.
But
that's not disallowed. That's held up.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, if it's held up, then it's not disallowed. Yes, you're right. Okay, but still, I think that Ulster. I mean, did you see Nathan Doak's kind of post-match interview when he's been named player of the match?
I
And
felt bad for him, man. I did
and
feel
they're
bad
like,
for
"How do
him.
you feel?" And he goes, "I'm gutted." And then he stands there in silence for a second, and then goes, "I'm gutted again." That's just he can't form sentences. He like so if someone wants to argue to me, and look, you know, that's probably the first game ever where the Scarlets have had a home advantage in terms of the referee. um, like where 50-50s went our way. Normally it's the Scarlets TMO it, lads. But we didn't get that in this game. You know, with the Eddie James thing on Mike Lowry, first of all, I hope Mike Lowry's okay because he looked like he had Tweety Birds going around when he sat up. So hope that's not so bad. I think if there's a camera on the other side of the ground that they can check the angle on, maybe Eddie's in trouble. But from the angles that they had, I think they've just had to say play on. But
Yeah.
it's frustrating that he got hurt because obviously you don't want to see a player ever get hurt. Um, so it means that we can't celebrate it. Is basically he's absolutely put him into last month, let alone last week.
Yeah. I said this to you boys when I was watching the game back first off. That I actually think, even though he has been, Mike Lowry has been hurt, he has had to go off. I think he's quite lucky that Eddie James was upright. I do think if he came in that tackle already, he would have just plowed straight through him. And that's not saying, because Mike Lowry is small or whatever, just the sheer force that Eddie came through with. You align his spine and everything into that. He's causing a lot of damage. I mean, he only has to do that once, and people are going to be scared when they see him run at them in the future. So, I'm looking forward to him putting one of them hits in. From the angles we got, I mean, it looks sort of chest to shoulder. I mean, I do see his head move, but I don't know how much of that is contact or how much it is, Danish. Also, it's really hard to say. And people go, "Oh, the stadium shit. They didn't have cameras." No, it's not the Scarlets' responsibility to put cameras in the stadium. That's on Premier Sports or whoever's producing the match.
If it was the top 14, if it was Camera Plus, there'd not only be a camera on that side of the stadium, there'd be a camera filming the camera on that side of the stadium
In slow
don't
motion, in black and white.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they don't just have one or two cameramen running the sidelines on the ground as well.
I think they probably did, but maybe they just didn't have an angle at that point because they were repositioning or something. Because they will have them there for lineouts and things like that. I think it just wasn't for whatever reason the angle wasn't available. I think.
So be it. Be it.
But I was interested because I thought we don't often see Eddie used to sort of like go and tackle a player who's going up for the ball like that. So I did wonder if it was actually meant to be a contestable kick. But with the wind behind it, it's the first kick of the game.
The wind caught a couple of contestables. Yeah, both Sammy's and Archie's were literally like 2 meters too long, and I was thinking it's probably the wind's done that.
Because Eddie doesn't normally tackle in that sort of position either.
So it's too dangerous for him to do it. That's why.
Exactly.
I was surprised. Were you surprised that Flannery came on for Lowry instead of Postlethwaite? Postlethwaite, I can never pronounce his name.
As soon as he came on, Ulster Adam from the URC pod said, "Ooh, not sure about this. Don't think this is going to work." And he has played fullback before to a pro level, so I think it was the most obvious option. I think Postlethwaite is only a centre, so I see it. I'm fine with it, but obviously it wasn't ideal.
Yeah, because they took Balakoon off at halftime as well, which I was personally disappointed of because I really, really like him. But and then brought Postlethwaite on for him on the wing then, which was really strange, which seemed really strange. Their attack seemed to really stutter at that point then. But anyway, I know we're not an Ulster pod, but I just thought it was an interesting change.
Very interesting change. So do try analysis. Do we do try analysis or do we do star players first? Which way should we go?
Let's do try analysis first. So which try would you like to watch first? So the only one that I haven't got available for us to have a look at is the first one because the video, I did take a video of it, but it's so long that I haven't kind of why has it done that? That I haven't kind of gotten it ready for you to look at. But it's basically the first try is, I think, the best 3 minutes of rugby that we've played in a very, very long time. It all comes from the restart. So Sammy's kicked a penalty goal. They restart. We exit box kick. They have the ball for a reasonably lengthy attacking set, don't do anything, and then Werner Koch, for some reason, passes the ball straight to touch from like 20 meters inside the field of play. Something's gone very wrong there. And then Sammy does the 50-22.
From a quick line out.
From a quick line out. And if you watch it, I'll see if I can find the clip. He has to like beat 3 defenders to do it as well.
Yeah, he jinks back inside, cuts back, even backwards a little bit, and then just wallops it down.
Yeah,
and the way the ball curves as well it's a really, really pretty kick.
It was only just a 50-22 though. It bounced just the right side because it bounces before the 22, but then goes out.
I think it went a bit further than where the line out was, though. I think it was at least a meter in.
Yeah, because Ryan Elias, when he threw it in, he was stood on the 22. And if I was Ulster, I'd have been like, well, is it in or not? But yeah,
I guess on the 22 is good enough, isn't it? On the 22 is still going to be a 50-22.
Yeah, because the midway line, then you'd work outwards from either side. If you touch the line, you're in the next zone.
Yeah. So he does that, and then it's a full team try because it's a maul, and they go far with a maul, and then the forwards truck it up several times. There's actually, if you watch the clip back, I put it in the chat. There's a bit where Plumtree comes out of the maul, and he's clearly hurt or something. You say his neck or something, but Sammy tells him to go and stand over there. Typical no sympathy Sam. We have to start calling him that. Just like
always to the Tane as well.
I don't care, Tane. Go and stand over there. You actually see him like whack him on the arm and says, "Go and stand over there." So he does it, and then go through a few phases. I absolutely loved Archie's service from the back of the ruck because he wasn't just popping it up. He wasn't just from the ground popping it up. He was picking it up, engaging a defender, then doing it quite DuPont. And yes, I've said it now, but I can't take it back. It's because DuPont never plays the ball from the ground. He always picks it up, stands up, and then passes it. And that's what Archie was doing. And then eventually Sam Costello just goes, yeah, you have it, you have it, you have it, you have it. All right, give it to me at try time.
Yeah, I mean, he is responsible. Look, Sammy is responsible for our tries, for their nice looking tries in this game. Josh is just a genius when we come to that one. Just pure rugby intellect on that. Definitely, Wales captain quality. There we go. Said 2 weeks in a row.
It's coming.
It is.
It should be.
Coming. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Archie, and this is probably jumping ahead to star players, his decision making when he's moving with the ball, when to pass, when to go. Like we saw a few half breaks, we saw a few times Ulster players trying to cut into the line in front of him, but he didn't give the pass. He kept moving and he picked the right option. So fair play to the boy, to the Falcon. He's not a boy anymore. He's a man. He's a big bird.
Fair play to the man Archie Hughes. It's good though because it felt like watching that again. Not a pick and go in sight, which I know he will be very happy about. But Mart maybe slightly less. I love a pick and go myself, but there's a time and a place in there. But you're like the way he moves off the base and he does engage the pillar defender. It's really, really good. But other than that, you were saying, he gives it to the forwards. He gives it to players he gives it mostly to Eddie James, Plumtree, and Fletcher Anderson. So 3 players that are known to our opposition, like these are big runners. They take minimum 2 people to bring them down. And it's really, really nice how he picks them out. They get a good run on. They slow the fold from the defense and it creates that space out wide. And then it's Sammy going up for it. He goes to get double tackled. And that's when he gets the ball out the back door to Blair. It's great. It's really, to be honest, it seems very simple. It seems very simple. Give it to big men. Create space out wide. But it's working for us.
I think the extra danger we got, and maybe not so much with Fletcher, but definitely with Eddie and Tane, is their ability to offload in the tackle, even if it's a 2-3 man tackle on them. I've seen Tane get balls away when
he did try a very stupid one in the second half, though. I don't know if you've gotten to that bit yet, but John Fox gave him a rollicking in commentary. He was like, Tane, what are you doing? Because it was a very stupid attempted offload.
We let him.
We are the Tane Plumtree Defence League on this show, and I am Chief Tane Plumtree apologist, and I will be forever. However, I do have to say that I think he had a slightly poor game.
average. Let's say average by Tyne standards. It was a different. You got to think, with our half hour where Ulster will be pounding us in the second half, he's not having an opportunity to show any skill. So you could say we've lost, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes or so ball in hand. So maybe those 8 minutes take him into normal territory again. Just the way the match has gone. Like I just saw a stat that said they had 67% possession over the game. So obviously, conflicting stats in different places. That doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it's just having, obviously, we need those options. No, obviously, I'm a little bit annoyed. I still am a little bit annoyed with how Fletcher came about because we did have a eight of his mana last season, but that's done and dusted. We got him now, and he's a brilliant player, and I'm glad to have him here. It is basic, but it's also it gives options, which is what we need more than anything. Every carrier needs to come with more than one option. If it's a case of even popping out the back, like look at the handling skills of Eddie James, of Tyne. Haven't quite seen enough of Fletcher, but he's popped a few out and not taking contact as well. They can drive in, they can give it early, they can go through and offload. Having
they can
those
go
options,
and give and do it at the right time.
Exactly. And having that is tremendous.
They can be slow or fast, but they must get to the line.
And they will get there. They will.
Do you understand where this reference is coming from? Okay, never mind.
Confident enough to say no.
All right. People listening will know, so we'll move on. Shall we talk about try number 2, which might be my favourite? Well, no, obviously the final try is my favourite try of the game. But I liked this try from a noisy
the start
point
of this. The start of this is absolutely brilliant. I loved Elias taking it, having Archer and Kems either side to clear out. They just worked in a perfect unit for this carry. And you just watch them both coming in, just isolating each side. Is brilliant.
It's dummy maul. Lousy, beautiful. And EJ is so close to it. Sorry. Shall we just explain to the people what we're watching? Okay. So tap and go. Come on, get on with it. Tap and go. As you say, it's the front row. So he's got the 2 props coming alongside him to do the clear outs. He's got Josh McLeod in behind him. So he taps it. There you go. The ball moves, which is important.
Yes.
And he actually does quite well to get as far as he does. And then Josh McLeod plays 9, which I think is a nice little detail. Josh McLeod's passing, very underrated. We've picked it out as being quite good a few times on the pod. And then it goes to Lousy, and for all the money, this looks like it's going to be a dummy. It looks like it's going to be a maul. The way that he's turning, the way that he's got the 2, I think that's Cuxon and Tyne coming into it. So if you look at, I think it's Hume in the middle, Cock outside him, and I think that's their number 6. I think it's McCann. All come in to join the maul. And then Lousy, probably arguably the only player on our team who can do this, pops it up to Eddie, who's coming in. Jesus, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah, but Cock actually sees that and he reacts to it pretty good because you can see he's going in for that mini maul, but it's like he can see the other other gears, other cogs move, and he's like, shit, I gotta get out. He's done really well by there.
Yeah, and Eddie's so close to getting over that literally the next phase, Josh is just like, that looks an awful lot like the try line. I'm just going to put it down. And he does that. So even though Eddie hasn't actually gotten over, I would say that set piece works. And I think that we should be awarded a first phase try for that.
Yeah. Well, no, because the first phase was really Elias. I mean...
Oh, yes. Shit.
We take that tap ball 6-7 meters out and he's like a meter shy when he actually gets stopped. So fair play. I mean, we've all spoken about his carrying and his scrummaging as his main parts of his game.
He is the most similar hooker in Wales to Dewi Lake. People don't want to hear that, but it's just factually true.
You mean Dewi Lake is most factually similar to him, or whatever way around you just said, because he came first. Remember that.
Do you want to watch the try now?
Do we? Just don't show me the mistake before it. Okay, don't show me the pop pass. It doesn't go anywhere.
That was almost going to be burnt into our retinas for the next year, I think, until we saw something better.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys watched this? Or to put it another way, how much time have you spent not watching this last try on loop since it happened? Because I have watched it a lot, many, many times.
I'm trying to lead a little bit of a rugby crusade over here, and I'm trying to convert people over to it.
Good man.
I showed them this entire game because I knew it would be worth it at the very end, and it was worth it for everyone's reaction. So I haven't watched this as much as you, but in a sort of almost tantric way. I was very prepared for it when I saw it more recently at the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and anytime I've seen a clip of this wherever on socials, I will stop. I will watch it at least 4 or 5 times before I'm like, okay, I, that's filled that itch for now.
Okay, here we go, everybody. Now I'm going to just scroll so the Premier Sports logo isn't visible, because they do like a copyright strike. And so obviously it starts with a maul, and I thought at one point we'd buggered this up,
Yeah,
but then I'm like, is this a penalty? Is this a penalty? I don't know, but I thought Josh Morris has played very well since he's been coming in. By the way, this isn't slightly off topic, but I thought he's done very well. I think he had 2 pickups off his toes in this game as well. I
yeah,
think
we'll come on to Josh in a bit. I think we got a listener's question revolving around him.
So you've got ball goes to Johnny Williams. This is EJ on the crash line. You can see it holds. You can see this player is looking at EJ like, oh God, all right. This is happening then. He's just coming to terms with it. He's not even preparing for the tackle. He's like, my life is about to get ouchie. And then goes to Sammy. You can see Tommy's an option there. And then, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm sitting comfortably.
Oh, yes. The pass. What you got to watch here, right? What you got to watch with this pass? And this is something that you know if you've watched it as many times as I have. You got to watch Postlethwaite. You know, sometimes when you have a dream and you need to run, but you can't run. That's what happens to Postlethwaite here, where when the pass goes, see this moment, he's realized what's happening, and he knows there's nothing he can do to stop it. And this is just a man panicking. And it's worth saying, Ellis Mee is, according to the official stats, Ellis Mee got 48 run meters in this game. I think all 48 of them are here in this one moment because, wow. And this is like against Northampton. Do you remember against Northampton for his try? He hands off someone behind him and uses it to propel himself along. Not for his try, sorry. His assist to Archie. He does that here. Oh, come on.
No, we just got to watch it again. It's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to get there. I thought he's tackled for sure. But he does get there. And he does a dive.
He's so happy with himself as well. It's because the pass is absolutely incredible. And obviously we praise the pass. But he's left with a lot of work to do.
Oh, to finish that.
Yeah, the pace, the handoff, the high leg. It's all good.
Even before this game, I would say Ellis Mee is on form the best Welsh winger playing right now. And
we gave him a hard time at the start of the season.
Well, but rightly so. When players are not playing well, we will critique, and if that critique is negative, it happens. Players, they gotta know they've got fans. We love all these players, and we want them to play to the best they can. And when they're not, they don't need a soft shoulder going, oh, there, you'll get better soon. It's like, no, smack across the back there. You know what to do it. Get there and bloody do it. But honestly, everything about Ellis is really, really amazing to see his trajectory from being, playing 15 for, what was it called? Nottingham.
Watching him play 15 for Llandovery, and he was like so far better than everyone else on the pitch.
He looked like everything he was doing was in slow motion. It was one of the early games in the season. It was on Espedirec. And when players look a standard above, he looked a standard above the standard above, because that's just how that game went. He just looked like someone passed in the ball. You could have someone sprinting at him from 5 meters away, and he would be there for about 10 minutes deciding what he can do, because that's how much time he just had on the ball. It was, Christ, I'm replaying that game, one of the breaks he made in that game now in my head, and it's just magic. It is sublime what he can do. his defense is brilliant. The way he will always show the outside to the attacker, and he just swings around. More often than not, he will like grab him by the waist and just swing around and take him down. That seems to be the Ellis Me style tackle.
I'm going to give you the space, and then I'm going to take it away again.
Exactly, and he's really, really good at it.
All right, let's see
yeah.
the pass from the other angle then. The John Fox again. I'm talking about John Fox a lot. John Fox in commentary who just couldn't get over this pass. Like even whilst Ellis Me was running in, he's just like, the pass. I can't believe the pass.
You literally stuck him in a timeout. He was like, "What a pass! What a pass!" Oh, I think the best thing about this, and we went through a phase where we had some amazing tens. We had Priestland, we had Bigger, Sam Davis, even Matthew Morgan. There's so many really, really good tens that will do more, like Jared Evans, mercurial things. And it's just completely dried up, at least still in Wales. And Sammy is just one of them players that will do things and he's capable of doing them. So when you see in that pass, it just makes it all that more better because it is now rare, for us to see it inside Welsh rugby. And there's plenty of other Welsh channels that will try it. They won't execute it anywhere near.
I don't think there's not a pass like that. I never seen any other Welsh 10 play a pass like that. I never seen Jared Evans do that. I never seen.
But they try it.
I've seen Jared Evans put in a nice pass. To be fair,
I feel like the last 10 we saw do that was. Oh crap! Why am I blanking on his name right now? He was with us and he went to Japan and now he's in the coaching setup. Patch. Why am I forgetting Patch? I feel like the last 10 I saw make a pass like that was Patch.
Yeah, but even with Patch, it's been a while since he's played like that.
Exactly.
We are talking 2018, 2019 when he started. Obviously that was his peak. So we're talking 7 years.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
It's a long time. We've had in Wales, we've had some tens that are really good ball in hand kickers who can find players on the wing really, really nicely and find the backfield well. But no one is making a pass like that.
No.
Dan Edwards isn't making a pass like that. Callum Sheedy isn't making a pass like that.
Because you started the war on TikTok by saying that one of these players should be clearly starting for Wales and one shouldn't.
Oh, that's good to know. That is a platform I have no interest on.
I haven't, because I know just how reactive that comment would have been. I just was like, I'm not even checking.
It's a wonderful week to not use TikTok is what I'm getting from that.
Yeah. So I'm worried that Sammy actually is going to get picked for Wales now, which I don't want to happen. I want him to stay where he's safe.
That would be nice, but it's not going to happen, really.
By the way,
he's in the 23.
That's in the 84th minute of the game. There are people who would have you believe that Sam Costello shies away from big moments in games.
Hang on, it was the 82nd minute, wasn't it?
84th.
On the clock, it said you got it, but there. Did it say that on the clock? Because I'm pretty sure the line out is like 82-26, something like that.
Okay, you might be right.
Troy scored in the 83rd. Kick in the 84th.
So
kick in the 80th. That's where you're getting again.
So there you go. That's kick in the 84th. So that's 83 minutes something.
Yep.
So there you go. Problem solved.
He's likely to come off the bench in the England game and do something. Well, the thing is, because he was so injured, because he was injured for a while, and we saw our performances dip so much in that time, and now we've seen it trend up really, really quickly again now that he's back. Like we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, the mainstream rugby media has kind of finally picked up on that now, and people are reporting on it. And I think the narrative is now designed almost for him to come on and do one or two really, really good things in that England game, and then have the likes of your Wales Online, so your Scrum 5 actually like really, really pushing for him. And I feel like that's the next step in him getting back in favour with Wales.
It does feel a bit, cynical for me. The whole, because he was always this player. This is always who he is. He's not just suddenly turned into this. And I checked. He got left out of the November test squad, and no one said anything. People were just like, "Oh yeah, he's been left out." And he's played.
A lot of people were happy. A lot of people were really happy.
5 games since then. He's had 5 appearances for the Scarlets since the November test squad. And now people are saying, should he be starting ahead of Dan Edwards? And
The answer is yes.
It just feels so scripted from the media side of like, just it feels like a memo went round like a couple of weeks ago, just like, hey, just maybe talk about how good Sam Costello is. Just maybe do that. It just feels a little bit.
I would argue that it's very easy. It's very easy analysis. The Scarlets are better with Sam Costello, and it's really, really
thank you, John,
apparent.
because we've built a whole podcast out of that.
Yeah. It's
You
been
know
the
what I
same
mean, though.
years. Look, it's been the same for about 4 years. Actually, more or less the entire time he's been here. We've been better with him at 10. And this is no disrespect to Hawkins, because obviously he was playing out a position that I don't know what the conversation was to get him to 10, but some backhanders or something must have been going on here to make him pick that. You could see what it's like when we're not playing with a real 10. And, it was similar with Joe and Lloyd. Our game plan was so much more simpler. We weren't doing half the things that we would do with Sammy. So it is so noticeable when he's not there. And the only thing I can say now is he's a couple of years older. He's got that more maturity. He's got that calm head. He's become much more of a leader. You look at Sammy 3 years ago, the start of the season after Patcher left, the start of that season compared to now, huge difference in terms of leadership qualities. He had them then, but they're just massive now. If we move on to talking about Wales and that Six Nations, I can't see how you can't.
Is that on the agenda? I don't recall
No,
putting that in the agenda.
No, it's not. But this is why I'm stating it. But I can't see how you can't go 10 through 14 and not just pick all Scarlets. And but
welcome back to the Scarlets podcast, everybody.
There you go.
I mean,
okay.
I still think that Archie is definitely not the fourth best scrum half in Wales at the moment. So I would definitely have him in there as well. But
So what's your hierarchies in 9 at the minute then?
Oh, in Wales, that's the problem, isn't it? So yeah, Thomas Williams starts. Realistically, Hardy, just for his experience.
Form.
Yeah. Oh, form. Form is Shea Hope.
Yeah, then
but he's injured. It looks like.
Is he?
Oh, he hobbled off, didn't he?
He hobbled off. Yeah. Oh. It looked ankle-ish. That's a word, right? And then Archie. But to be honest, I think a universe where we have Shea Hope and Archie fighting it out in the next couple of years for the top number 9 shirt is if I supported Wales at the moment, then I'd be very excited about that 9 battle.
I mean, seeing as though we're talking about 9s, and this completely went past me in the summer, but our old number 9 that was being raised alongside Archie, Harry Williams, he's over the border. He's literally he's across the locker. I didn't even know he was there.
I thought you meant in England, Matt.
Oh no, he was with Amptill. He then went to Australia.
I was going to say, I thought he was championship.
I thought he was still in Australia, to be honest, but no, he's apparently in Swansea looking for a job. Okay, that was mean. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But no, I didn't realize he was there. I always loved Harry when he played.
Oh, I thought something else mean to say. I'm not going to.
No, I always loved watching Harry, whether he was playing the under-20s or whether he was playing. I think he was playing with. Oh, who's he playing with? I can't remember.
Is he fully on the books or is he academy with them?
He'd be academy because of his age. But yeah, his speed of pass has always been something that's impressed me.
But like Archie was starting ahead of him for Wales under-20s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were always together. They were, because I believe we signed Harry at like a 15-year-old or 14-year-old because he was up in Ipswich. Like I can remember that story going. We're going back like 7 years now, and I can still remember that. And I always thought he was a really talented player. I always thought he would come through, but obviously for whatever reason, he buggered off at a time when we had next to no 9s. So yeah, but yeah, he's over there. I didn't know. I thought I'd share with you guys.
Any other star players you want to talk about? Oof. Can I shout out Kemsley Mathias is never, ever, ever going to make any headlines from this game. 68 minutes on the pitch. I don't know about you, Mark. I felt like we had Ulster's number at scrum time, in my opinion.
All day. First half, at least, that I can say.
And I think he made 16 out of 16 tackles and 7 carries.
That's good work. It's really
When you
good
consider
work.
how little ball we had, him getting 7 carries is impressive. I don't know what happened in Northampton. It's something just with that referee just did not like him. Because apart from that, I think Kemsey Mathias is the unsung hero of the Scarlet season so far, in my opinion.
Since November, yeah. He's been brilliant. He's turning in, like, I know I've said it recently, maybe having Josh Morse now in there, giving him a kick up the arse to make it okay. Because I know you've spoken to people before, and Kemsey's one of those players. He needs a bit of fire lit under him to get moving, and he seems he's got that, and he's showing what. When was it? I think the 22-23 season, we had Steph Thomas playing majority of loose head for us, and he was looking really good, really strong. It was like, Christ, with Wyn Jones as well at the time. I was saying we got 2 really top quality props, but yeah, we're going really well. And then I think the January came, and Kem started again his first sort of appearances for us, January 23, and on us, he was just another level. And it's been since then. I don't understand why Wales don't give him an active part within that squad. Just because you look at the boys in there now, Nicky Smith. Now, Nicky Smith, he hunts for penalties. He's not a true scrummager. And if he doesn't have anyone, he doesn't have enough weight behind him, he will go nowhere, he will crumble. All you've got with Nicky Smith is someone that tries to eke penalties, very good at it. Can't argue that. But if you want steady ball, you want to try things off first phase moves or whatever, you need someone that will scrummage and give you legal ball. Gareth Thomas, he hasn't been on form for years now. It feels like it's been at least a season and a half where he's had a proper good game. Can't comment too much on Carey. I don't really watch him that often. I do try and watch over the border as much as I can.
Sometimes I think TNT Sport pick our squad. Sometimes Wales's squad. I think these days, if you're playing in England, you're probably going to get picked. It really winds me up.
It's always the same with journos as well. It seems that if you're in England and you're Welsh, you'll get a few articles. I mean, how many articles were there about Kane James? I mean, I can't comment on him playing, but look at the back rowers we've got here. That's what we're looking at. If they were saying maybe Dejan Gwyn, that I can believe. He's in the under-20 squad. He's playing for Gloucester. He's a good kid. He came through our setup. He's Aberystwyth, I want to say off the top of my head. So there's some players you can understand it, and others not so much. But yeah, it does feel like if you're playing in England,
Bryn Bradley is an example of a player who I seen him play for the under-20s. He was alongside Louis Hennessy, and to be honest, I thought Bryn Bradley was the standout player compared to Louis Hennessy for the Wales under-20s, in my opinion. And he's gone to Harlequins. He's struggled for game time, mind you. People act like Louis Hennessy is playing a week in, week out for Bath. Yes, he played at the weekend. He is not. But Bryn Bradley's got a run of games, and now people are going like, oh, well, why isn't he in the squad? And first I'm like, look at our centres option. We're not short in the centres here, boys. And then Harlequins literally got booed off the pitch last game.
Yeah. But, their management or whoever actually acknowledged it and went, you know what, we played shit, it's not acceptable. It'd be nice if we could get that sometimes. Now, personal opinion for you boys, I want to see if you match up. So, if we're looking at centres in Wales, I think our 4 centres is in Double Joe, Johnny and Eddie, not in that order. But I think they're the 4 best centres in Wales. Johnny, okay, he's not covering himself in glory lately.
Inisi is playing well for Dragons.
Yeah, we're talking Welsh.
Welsh qualified playing in Wales. Yeah.
I'm not as much of a Ben Thomas hater as you are. I've got time for Ben Thomas.
I'm not Ben Thomas hater.
I like Ben Thomas, but I do think Hawkins, apart from, I think Ben Thomas has a nicer pass on him at the moment. But I think Hawkins, his kicking is better. I think he gives you a much better run option. Carrying's better. And I mean, it's 12. Like, you need to be able to carry. Ben Thomas gets turned over.
And defensively, I think Joe Hawkins is a brilliant defensive 12.
Defensively, I think Not to be too controversial, but I do think Watkin and Williams over the Locher are pretty good defensively. I don't want like as a unit together. I think they're probably the strongest defensive partnership
They've
at the
played
moment.
tons together.
Yeah,
Watkins
that's
been
but
around for well over a decade at this point as well.
yeah, but I think it's fair to acknowledge that it's like they are a unit. They have played together for ages. I don't think it works when you split them up. That's why I don't think
No,
Watkins has ever looked so good for Wales.
no.
I would rather
I don't want. I'll upset people if I give my opinion on Owen Watkin, but no, thank you. That's
After
my
the
opinion.
pod.
after the pod.
Yeah.
And Iron Owen, I think he's got a really good ceiling.
He's
Yeah,
not
I
better than Eddie, or he's not better than any of our centres.
yeah,
I'd say
I'd love to
too
see
low.
him play with Eddie though. I would love to see him play with Eddie.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I thought an Iron Owen was gonna start shooting up. His trajectory was already on a good line, but he seems to have petered a bit. I do think he can still go a step further. Can he make international? Like we're really getting off topic here, but
Mm.
I do like an Iron Owen. There's a couple centres down at Dragons I like. Harry Ackerman. Oh, I can't remember his name now. Bugger it. It's another one. I can't remember. Another Dragon centre. Can't remember his name. He's alright. He's a young one. Carry on.
The issue with the Dragon Centers is a little bit of how much have they been held back because of the environment that they've been in, and hopefully that's changing now, and that's fantastic, and maybe we'll see a little bit more from them. But if you want to ask me right now, not talking about ceilings, who's number one? Who would I? Obviously we're ridiculously biased here. I
What?
would prefer to
How dare
start.
you?
I would. I'm counting myself in that by what I'm about to say. I would start Costello, Hawkins, and James. They're
10 to
clearly playing.
14. 10 to 14 start Scarlets.
Who's 15 then? Because Zamet's not look. He doesn't look good at fullback.
Someone else, because we just get shit otherwise. And Murray hasn't had a good game at fit. He's had worse games than Reece Zamet recently.
I wouldn't start Murray either, to be honest, for Wales. I think
No.
they still are because I think they want to use him in attack. But no, I would go Zamet, me. Oh, we
Tommy
really don't have.
Rogers.
It's got to be Tommy Rog.
It's got to be. Me and
Yeah.
Rogers are the wings. It's got to be. Me is in form as in playing in form, and
You
he's
could play
a
Josh
cracking
Adams
winger
at fullback.
international.
I would put me at fullback. I'm thinking now as I stop to think about it.
I mean, I do think that's
I
where
don't
he's going to
know.
end up.
He's not played there enough for me to go in there at Six Nations level.
Yeah, but they're gonna.
What do you mean? He spent a full year playing there, week in, week out.
No.
I think if you do start him there and you say, I'm going to start LSME at fullback for every game this Six Nations.
I think that's something Tandy needs to do. I think he needs to pick his 23 now and stick with it.
Tandy's created a rod for his own back with the centres. We're getting massively off topic here, but we're far enough into the podcast now. He's let Matt Sherritt tell him what to do with the centres.
Yeah.
And now he's got to stick or twist.
And he's not twisting.
With whether that works, which means
But-
he's locked into either Ben Thomas or Joe Hawkins as a 12, and you could argue that there's better options.
I mean, what 13s are there? Like, is Louis Hennessy
gonna
the
be
only
EJ
real
13.
13? No, it's going to be EJ.
It has to be, yeah.
But is Hennessy the only 30 out and out 13 in the squad?
I'm going to have to check the squad now.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I mean that's probably why Eddie's been transitioned over to 13 a bit more with us. They've asked and
I've been saying this for weeks.
we've
Neil
accommodated.
didn't want to hear it.
No, we could see it.
We've all
happening.
been saying it for weeks, to be fair.
I mean, we are still going for the EJ6 and EJ10, but
Yeah.
Oh man,
other players
that's boring. That's old shit. EJ3. I reckon he can lock down a scrum if you give him a
Other
chance.
players-
he's too
other players who
tall.
played
He's
well.
too tall.
Josh McLeod is an absolute animal. How good is he? He had 21 tackles without a miss in this game.
Nothing
just
unusual.
Really, 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 really good player. And Fletcher Anderson. If I'm
Blair on the end of a try. Well
someone
done.
down in New Zealand wants to be knocking on some doors down there, because I'm not saying that Tame Plumtree, Fletcher Anderson, and Blair Murray would be test All Blacks, But what I am saying is that these guys are playing NPC level. These guys haven't even established themselves in Super Rugby level. And they've gone abroad. They're playing week in, week out in the URC, and they're getting test caps. Someone down there in New Zealand needs to be going, hang on a second. This keeps happening.
Yeah,
They're definitely
they-
Maori All Black level. No doubt
yeah.
about that.
There's definitely something going wrong with a pathway identification of getting into that
Again,
gap
getting off
between
topic,
NPC Super Rugby.
but I think that they are too like spreadsheet. I think they are too like you need to be this dimension, you need to run 20-meter dash in this time, you need to be able to bench this, and you need to be this tall.
They're running
And I think
everything off stats.
if you don't fit that, then you don't go. Like what New Zealand players? Who's watched New Zealand in the last 2 years and seen like someone trying to do the kind of a behind the back pass like
Besides
Tame
Savea.
Country's done? Other than Savea, they don't do it.
No. I mean, they're not looking at, and it's the same here, because it's exactly the same thing we struggled with in the second tenure with Gatland, the same as what we're struggling a bit now with Tandy, even though he's still early. Hopefully, that'll come out of it. They're not looking at performances. They're picking off their own. I don't even know what they're picking off, because it's just weird.
I feel like, feel free, like, please disagree with me, but my feel is that since the 2011 World Cup, there's been a general trend towards more structured play, more control, and now since 2023 to 2019, maybe 2019, it's been trending more towards unstructured broken field play, slowly but surely. I mean, that's why
since
I'd say
2023, I
21.
think it's accelerated
massively.
massively
I'd say
away
after
from
that,
structure.
I'd say after the Lion series, the 21. I think that's when it started. Like in what I started seeing.
I think this is what is hurting Ireland so much is that they were the most structured team and they were that strong, and then rugby suddenly just completely went away from structure, and it's really really hurt Ireland quite badly. But yes, I agree with that, and I think New Zealand just are followers, not innovators anymore.
Well,
No.
I think they had such success during that time of structured play. You know, that's where we've got so much of that dominance. That dominance came from at the tail end of that generation, and so I think maybe they've been reluctant to change. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, but because that dominance, even if it's a bit more boring to watch it gives results, and more than anything else, New Zealand rugby is focused on results.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, we need to get
anyway,
back on
our
track.
Scarlets podcast.
Who else played well? We talked about Archie, we talked about Sammy, we talked about Eddie, we talked
Hawkins was
about
good.
Sorry, who?
Hawkins was good.
Hawkins was
Quiet.
he had the
He was
intercept. He had an intercept, but like that was the only mistake I feel like.
Yeah, this was a defensive performance as well.
Mm.
And I think Hawkins, he stood out in his ability to defend as a 12 in this game.
I don't know what you guys think. I'm not sure that Big Nige is sold on Hawkins yet. He's been
No, I
substituted
don't think
in
he is.
both games. He's been told, you ain't a 10, mate. And it feels like he's gone from under Dwayne, you are in every single 23 when fit, to with Nige, it's now you gotta prove why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Puds will go back to, or at least wants to go back to the traditional centre pairing where the 12 is bigger and, your 13 is your X Factor player.
He could have done that. He could have done that in these last 2 games, and he hasn't.
Yeah, but when you're talking about in terms of pairing, and you're saying you put in Eddie at 12 and Max at 13, yes, it can work, but you're looking at overall structure of the game. Who do you want on the bench? And like we said, Max is it's not perfect for him, but he is a bench player. You bring him on with 20 minutes to go to actually just blitz people with his pace and power, and that's just ideal. Like he's gonna get start. He's gonna start on the weekend now. Come in, it's in terms of looking at the overall squad as well. What were the best options we had? I think that's why we ended up with Hawkins and EJ13. What we get in the future? I mean, if EJ13 is going to be a permanent fixture, oof, I really don't know. I really don't know.
I think overall it still works though, because you do especially in like the set piece moves. Hawkins is standing in at first receiver a couple of times. Well, first
There was
1.5 receiver. I
there was
like
a
seeing
bit.
Archie like run out and then get the pass away, but like
There was a bit in the first half where Scarlets have got a scrum, an attacking scrum, and the commentator turns to John Fox, who's getting a lot of mentions on this pod, and goes, "So, John, who's calling the play here? Sam Costello or Joe Hawkins?" And Fox goes, "Costello." And it was like he didn't say the words full stop, but you heard the full stop.
mm,
So who's calling that? It's Sam Costello. Oh, okay.
very little commentary to add to that.
Nothing to add, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. So
One other player who we didn't mention, sorry, that I really wanted to give a shout out was I thought Cuxon was really good in this game. I thought he was really, really good in the maul generally. I thought
yeah,
maul defense was really, really nice for him.
yeah. Considering his age too, like he is, a really really young lock. As in, I'll get his actual age up here if I can be bothered to look at. He's just turned 22, like
Has he?
literally
Wow,
10
I
days,
didn't
10
realize.
days
I
ago.
assumed he was like
thought,
27.
honestly,
10
with the
days
beard
ago.
and everything, I thought he was on the bad end of 30.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry, Harvey.
yeah. He is a baby. He's still senior academy age for another 18 months. So, you know,
Fair play to him.
I'd like him to stay. I think he'd be a good permanent signing. Good for lock stocks and all that.
Yeah, agree.
But yeah.
Yeah, nothing against
And
him. He's England under 20s, but does he have
Yeah, he's
a
from North
granny?
Wales.
Huh?
He's from North Wales.
Oh, lovely. That's our region.
Mm.
We'll have that.
it is our region, despite what others may tell you. And we've picked up a player from our
Yeah,
one
but
of our
Mark, we
previous
don't really
friends.
cover RGC in the community game.
I shouldn't have mentioned the word region. I feel like that was a mistake. That was
We're having fun. We're having fun. Okay, so let's say that's the game done. Star players, blah blah blah. We've had some listeners, I should say, not viewer. Viewers count, yeah, blah bugger. Comments and questions. So our dear new John has gone fishing for people for questions, and he's actually come
On
back with
Grinder.
some.
No, it wasn't Grinder. What was it?
no, it was Grinder.
Tinder.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That was that's the platform everyone's using for these I've heard. So I've had a very full weekend as I've gathered lots of feedback and
In
various
more
other
ways than one.
and various other things as well. Trying to keep this family friendly. Yeah. So I put out a post on Reddit for anyone who uses Reddit. There's a really good collection of people on sort of talking about and analyzing rugby on there. But the Scarlets also have a little sort of sub forum there, which is called a subreddit. So it's reddit.com/r/Scarlets for anyone who wants to join us on there.
Get us a link up from the pod.
I'll get a link up there, yeah. And I will be posting before each one just a little opportunity for anyone who wants to put in some questions before the pod. And this week we got 3 questions in from there.
Ooh.
So I think the one that we've kind of already been talking about a little bit, we were talking about Ellis Mee. So apparently the bird internet has heard whisperings that Cardiff are sniffing around him, and he wants to know how can we entice Ellis to stay down the park.
Do you want to go, Mark?
I liked your answer when you responded in the pod, in the group chat. I like that one. Should we go with that one?
The way to keep Ellis Mee out of the Scarlets is to pay him the money. It's you're not going from Scarlets to Cardiff for rugby reasons.
That's not what you said.
What did I
Are
say?
you talking about what I said?
No, I thought who said it.
Well, what I
was it?
said was, well, if he wants to win anything, he should
That's
stay.
it. That's the one. Okay, my mistake. It was new John.
Sorry,
there's
you had a
the
very
confusion.
good business savvy answer,
But
and mine was just, well, Cardiff are shit, didn't they?
It-
So we
yeah.
shouldn't be going there.
In this day and age, you're not going from one Welsh region to another for pure rugby reasons. The only reason that he
No.
would go is if they offer him a load of money and we don't. Now, wider context, could Cardiff be going around offering huge wads of money to people in the other regions to say, let's call it a super region type situation? Yes, that is possible. And I expect that Cardiff, in whatever guise they are going forward, at some point will start hoovering up the top Welsh players. However, in the meantime, I think if the Scarlets pay him his money, he stays.
Pay him his worth,
Yeah.
and he is worth a lot.
yeah, he's obviously we've signed him as an academy player, so he's on an academy deal, and he's shot to not only an international but the form winger in Wales. So you're talking he's gonna that's a big pay bump. You're talking senior academy player between 20 and 40. He's probably mid range on that. So he's going up to six figures.
Yeah,
It's as simple as
sure.
that. He's hitting six figures here. And yeah, so look, I think our culture and the faith we've shown in him, I think it makes players want to stay here. Like we've heard a lot of academy boys talk about, well, the Scarlets have put faith in me. I want to
we've locked
repay
down a
that.
few. We've locked down at the end of last season. We locked down a load of players.
Yeah.
Mm.
So as long as the salary is matched or within reason, I don't see what it is, because let's be honest, when you're talking money over 100,000, vast majority of that is going to tax. So, is it really worth it for maybe an extra 50 quid a month? Because that's literally what it's going to end up being when you start talking into that realms of money. But yeah,
But if Bordeaux offer him a contract, I expect he'll go to them.
Well,
you
we
blame
don't.
him.
What's the story at the moment with the 25 cap rule? Is that just
It's
not being adhered to, even
It's
though
not-
it's in place? Because he's only got like
Stupidest
4
fucking thing this
caps.
country ever did.
it's still being
Sorry,
adhered
that
to
was
for
just
some
muttering.
people. Some people are still being held to it. Other people are not. The WIU are picking and choosing who they want to the 25 cap rule to
When
apply
Wales beat Japan in November, the guy who kicked over the penalty was Jared Evans, and the first guy to hug him was Rhys Carey. According to the 25 cap rule, neither of those players are eligible to play for Wales.
Yeah,
Yes, but
I'm surely they're going to apply it to players who leave Wales now, and maybe after
They're
a
gonna
couple of
get rid
years
of
they'll
him.
let them.
Yeah, but they bullshit reason is, you didn't get an acceptable or whatever the word and they use it offered in Wales. Well,
Fair
what
offer. Hmm.
like who is there? That's such a wide ranging
That didn't
word.
apply to Joe Hawkins when the Ospreys tried to keep him on an academy contract when he was a full Welsh international.
Exactly.
They tried to make an example of Hawkins, I think, when he went over. I thought he was like, see, this is what
Yeah.
happens to your international career when you don't adhere to this rule. And it was complete bullshit, and it really, sucked for him. It was completely unfair, I thought.
Yeah,
So that
well,
was question number one. What's question
Another.
number
Let's keep the mood up and go for question number 2.
yeah, we're over an hour. Let's go.
Yeah, staying with individual players then. And I think we've probably got a little bit of clarity on this since this question came in. So this is from Small or Far Away, again on the r/Scarlets subreddit.
Reddit's such a place of nerds.
It is. It is a haven for chumps. I'm really sorry if you're listening and that offends you, but I am one of you.
I'm a nerd. I'm just not on Reddit.
Let's just keep it that way. Who's on the bench for 10 cover next week? And Small or
We
Far
know
Away
this.
said, apparently Alice Price is injured.
True fact.
I don't
Okay.
know that, so I defer to Mart, the oracle of
The Scarlets
West
posted
Wales.
that it's true. Yeah, the Scarlets posted that he's injured.
Yeah. So we've signed Billy McBride, of course, former academy player.
News
Went
broken
off.
in the group chat by Pringle. It's worth pointing out.
Yeah,
Not
Pringle's in the
divulge
know.
his sources.
No. he never
Poker night with Robin McBride every Sunday night. Yeah.
It's what he does. So yeah, obviously he spent a few years with RGC, went to Doncaster 4 years, been back with RGC since a year September ago, and RGC have played 37 games in that time. He started 35 and benched one of them. So 36 or 37 games, starting 35. So he's match fit. He's definitely match fit, and he's I'm not going to say he's indestructible, but he's fairly durable because
Which will
most
be
players
vastly important for his 7 minutes off the bench on Friday
Yeah.
night.
if that. But no,
He's got a bit of a point to prove coming into this, really, isn't he?
look. He was a year young. He is, I should say, a year younger, or not even a full year. I think year younger than Dinky, and they were in the academy together. And if I'm remembering right, I could be wrong. Someone please correct me if I am wrong. We chose Dinky over Billy McBride. Now, at the time, he was a better player. You can't argue that. But he's Dinky. We know his style of play. He doesn't have that flair. He doesn't have that run in rugby. And that is what Billy had. I can't I haven't seen a great deal of RGC over the past 2 years to really comment, but Billy has always had that style of play. He is an all-rounder, and he is arguably the best head in SRC, especially if you're talking about how integral is your 10 to what you're doing. They can if we're talking RGC now, they can swap. They'll probably put Dion Jones in now on the weekend, and while he's gone, and yes, he'll do a job. They'll play similar, but they won't play to that same level. It's it's just one of them where you put that player in the content. It's like Sam Costello for us. You put him in there and you just see that performance boom up just that much extra more. So it'd be great for him to come here, and I think it's got to be for more than just the 1 week. It's got to be for the full Six Nations, because from what I'm hearing, Ellis Price is a minimum 4 weeks out to 6 weeks, and
what's he done?
More. Foot.
Ooh, you need that for running and stuff. Yeah,
and he's a 10, so maybe kicking or planting, whatever foot it is.
What was
it? Doesn't have to do any gardening at 10.
What's he done? It's not like what's himself. His name? Who was the guy? Who was the guy at Bridgend who got kicked by a cow?
That's going way too off topic, and we've done enough of that today. You'll have to find out. Though? I can't remember.
He used to play for Ospreys. Bald. Luke Price.
There, you've done it yourself.
Yes.
He's actually playing for Bridgend now, I believe.
Yeah, no, it was quite recent. He got kicked by a cow.
Oh,
and then he was late getting to the game because his tractor got stuck in the lane.
So, at Bridgend, they've got someone that's been kicked by a cow and someone that had their hand bitten by a lion. It's a great place to be, Bridgend. Really top level intellect.
That zoo needs to get some better fencing in. That's what's going on in Bridgend. Similar here now. Small or Far Away had another question, which I just forgot to write down, which I've just got here, which was, assuming Carwyn Leggett-Jones starts, do you keep Hughes at 9 or bring in Gareth Davis? Thought Hughes has been immense the last 2 games. Seems harsh to drop him, but does Leggett-Jones need the support?
A fascinating and good-looking question. And I think I agree with whatever Big M's about to say.
As much as I would love for him and Archie to start their journey now, you need to put as much experience around that boy as possible. And, it's got to be Cowdo, and, you hope to God, obviously Johnny and Joe, obviously Johnny played, but Joe wasn't on the injury list either this week. So, having Johnny Williams and Joe Roberts in the centres as well, that's going to help him massively. You need to really give him everything he needs to be successful, and having that experience around him will do that. They will know, or at least they will see what he was doing, how to adjust, and how to basically make his life easier, because that's literally their whole purpose.
It feels like we have a real opportunity now with Sammy gone to do what we didn't really successfully do with Charlie Dickham. And actually take a talented young 10, bring them into the game, bring them into the team with experience around. And I feel, we'll talk about it later, but I feel weirdly serene about this Benetton game, where I almost don't really care what the result is. I'm way more focused on what the performance is like.
I agree. But don't rob things for us to say at the end of the podcast. So, next question. I've got a question. Have you got one more question?
I've got one more question from SJ2009. So a 16-year-old has a question about a TMO, apparently. Can you explain why the TMO was within their right to bring playback for the cock yellow? So, as I'm sure, or maybe you haven't seen online, a lot of Ulster fans are really up in arms about the decision of the TMO to bring playback for the head contact on Tom Rogers by Werner Koch. Why can the TMO do that?
Because it's in the rules that they're allowed to do
Foul
that.
Play.
We suffered this in the Bristol game when I think it was Fletch has knocked the ball on, and then we've played for another about 20 minutes and scored a try, and they've gone back for the knock on. Being facetious, but there was a rule, I believe, at one point that you couldn't go beyond 3 phases or something like that. That rule is now gone. You can go back as far as you like for a TMO.
That's been gone for about 2 or 3 seasons. I think that was gone before the World Cup.
Yes, but as you rightly say, John, a lot of people, like a lot of Ulster fans, are still asking, like, how are you allowed to do this? But it is it seems like everyone finds this out the hard way. Everyone gets a try ruled out, and they go, "Why can you?" And I agree, by the way, as a matter of principle, that there should be a common sense about how far back you can go, because it does ruin the game a bit. But the referees were within their rights, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us on this occasion.
Fortunately for us, and we got to see a very, very lovely pass, which made it all worthwhile. So those are all the questions that I had in. So just to people who want to put any questions to us in future, you can find us on r/Scarlets every sort of Friday evening, Saturday evening after the game. I'll put a post up for you to put any questions you might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I think we had one on Twitter as well, didn't we?
We had one off Twitter. We had a question for Big M. We have Scarlets Central at Scarlets Extra on Twitter. We're not calling it X. Said, got a question for the pod, which is going to be answered by Big M. We haven't seen much of Hepburn since it's come out that Edinburgh are putting in a bid for him. Now, that's slightly football parlance, but I'll allow it. So I'm assuming we aren't going to use him now unless necessary. So is Josh Morse or Sock second choice?
Well, the short answer is we'll find out on Thursday when the Benetton team is named. But realistically, if there is going to be a new second choice, it is going to be Josh Morse. Plain and simply because, and this is not disrespect to how good Josh Morse is. And, he does tear it up at SRC level, and he's been biting at an opportunity to come through. And honestly, this season, his carrying has gone up another level with Hepburn, but it seems to be a clear plan that Josh Morse is now ahead of Sock. No, I'm not. Our season isn't over, so we got to be playing our best players. That is my opinion. If our season was dead, then I'd be just start Josh Morse, just give him all the minutes he can. But yeah, that's literally more or less. Josh Morse is now moved up a pecking order, and we'll see what happens with Hepburn.
I'm just trying to remember when Hepburn played last. Was it the Dragons?
No, he played against Northampton. I'm sure he did.
Was he on the bench?
Yeah, I'm sure he came on for Chems. I'm sure he did.
One second.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes, fair enough.
Yeah, he did. He played both Champions Cup games, and Josh Morse played against Dragons and Ospreys before that.
But I think if the gist of the question is who's ahead, Sock or Josh Morse, I think Josh Morse.
Yeah, Morsey definitely
seems to be at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have questions now, but I do have 3-word thoughts from Facebook. So on Facebook, every week we ask for your 3-word thoughts. This is something we've been doing for years. We do it after every game, and normally we forget to read it out. But I have gone out of my way, I've taken time out of my busy lifestyle to screenshot some pictures of Scarlets fans' comments on Facebook. And they are as follows. Gareth Young says, Ellis on fire. Sean Sheep says, Costi. James Nichols Rogers says, poor discipline again. We focus on the negatives. We won a bloody game of rugby, for goodness sake.
And there weren't that many penalties. I really don't.
Brian William Guest, who is a top fan, says, out of jail. Again, a little bit negative. Di Hicks says, a great lift. Peter Evans says, a great win Scarlets. Or great win Scarlets, I'm sorry. He did adhere to the 3-word rule. Tracy Bywater says, about bloody time. Alison Edwards says, like olden days. Then we've got Stephen Evans, who is also a top fan, says, outstanding Ellis me. Then you've got Mr. Chi. I think that is how you're supposed to say that. It says, need a pint. I know a man who can help you with that, but less of that. Oh dear, I think I'm going to get done for being mean again. Ian Humphreys has not adhered to the 3-word limit. But given that he is a top fan, I'm going to read out what he said anyway. When the players came over to the enclosure, I told Sam that he was the best 10 in Wales. He had a little smile. Oh, I'm glad that I read that out now. Lee Griffiths. Who the heck does he think he is anyway? Lee Griffiths says, what a finish. Reese Jones says, never give up. Mandy Tucker, who's a top fan, says, West is best. Mandy Tucker, who's a top fan, so commented twice, says, never give up. Kevin Heyer says, never in doubt. And then Peter Davis, who's a top fan, says, left that late. Paul Price says, take the points. We won the game. And Luke William Reese says, who needs discipline? So, typical Scarlets fans finding the negatives. But other than that, everybody's very happy that we won a game of rugby. Are we going a little bit over the top of celebrating one win? Yes, but I reserve my right as a fan to do that. What's the point of being here?
Good points. Also should have taken the points at some point in the second half, in the first 20 of the second half. I wrote that down like 6 times. Take the points, take the points, take the points. Anyway.
Yeah, but how many of them do they take and then that next opportunity appears? That's the question. Because it wouldn't be 6 lots of threes. It may be 2 best.
No, but just take some points and go back and reset and come back, because
I know.
At this point you've gone so much. This game is over. But
Game is over.
Ulster not taking threes.
Okay. Are we ready for the best part of the show?
We're set.
Mm-hmm. And shade the screen. Boom. And we are in. Shall we go? Do we go? Yeah. Hello?
For goodness sake, don't hold off any longer.
Hey. Okay. Community game, the best part of the pod, the only pod you were here to listen to. So we start in the SRC Cup. There was a game at Carmarthen Park. We will not comment it until later for reasons that you will become aware of. We had a few boys playing up there. So Sam O'Connor, Ben Williams, Thomas Williams, Gabe McDonald, Yori Badam with Sam Williams on the bench. Llandovery in their group won 29-12 at home to Swansea. Fairly comfortable, straight victory. Tom Phillips, Harry O'Connor, dropping straight down. Tian Sparrow starting with Kai Jones on the bench. So Llandovery back in action in the Cup away to Aberafan, and a league fixture for Carmarthen as they replay their postponed fixture at home to Bridgend. Into the Premiership, Llangennech 19-28 loss at home to Cross Keys. That's unlucky. Fixtures this Saturday, Llanelli Wanderers at home to Narberth. Llangennech are travelling to Neath. Doesn't get easy for them. Championship West, Aberystwyth 53-12 winners at home against Crymych. Nice. And fixtures on Saturday, we got Crymych at home to Gowerton, Ammanford travelling to Kenwick Hill, and Newcastle Emlyn hosting Gysainon. Division 1 West, loads of games postponed. The only one that was played, St Clair's lost 10-15 at home to Swansea Upland. This Saturday, we got Vellinville at home to Larne, Kidwelly hosting Wenolive, Hendy at home to Lamberta, Buryport travelling to Swansea Uplands, and St Clair's travelling to Tenby. Down into 2 West, we got one postponement. We got Whitland losing 33-0 away to Lacha. Nankarede going down 7-22 at home to Croix. Aberaeron 27-22 winners away to Pencloud. And Fishguard winning 36-12 away to Pontedillice. Fixtures this week. Why is there only 9 teams in there? Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. So we got Betis at home to Nantgaredig, Fishguard at home to Carmarthen Athletic, a foreign game, Bont away to Lacha, to Croix hosting Pencloud, and that must mean Whitland at home to Aberaeron. Must be. 2 West Central, no game for Brynhaman this week. They travel to Pencord on Saturday. In 3 West, all games postponed. So this weekend we have Milford travelling to Cardigan, Haverfordwest hosting Narberth Athletic, Llandilo hosting Hughes New Dock Stars, Am United going to Trimsaran. Again, my years. Am United going to Trimsaran, Neyland heading to Tumble. 4 West Day, only 1 game survived. Llanabudder 30, Llangam 25. Oof. Fixtures this week, we've got Newcastle Lemon Dragate travelling to Llangam. We've got Pembroke hosting Llanabudder, Pontyberem hosting Tyrone Crymych, and Pembroke Dock Harlequins travelling to St David's. 4 West B, we've got Furness winning 13-6 away to Kev Nathan, Binia 19-14 away to Pantavannan, Pennebank 16-14 away to Pontiates, and Fall Bay 34-10 away to Tregaron, all away in 4 West B. So coming this way on Saturday, we got Kevin Nathan at home to Tregaron, Pontiates travelling to Fall Bay, Binia heading to Furness, Llandibby hosting Pantavannan, and Pennebank hosting Llangadog. We go down. It was Cup week. We had some Cup games. They weren't that great. Oh, I actually have to change a fixture in the. My apologies. All the way back to 1 West. Tenby and St Clair's will not be going ahead because they have to replay their cup fixture because it got postponed. So in the semi-final, Connecticut Wanderers went down 25-12 against Neath. Unlucky they're out. I completely omitted the fact that Ammanford were in the championship semi-finals last week. I am so sorry, but it doesn't really matter because they lost 23-0 against Bedwas, and Newcastle Emlyn 6-17 loss against Bridgend Athletic. So that is the Premiership and Championship Cup completely out of risk. Out of sight, out of chance, whatever you want to call it. We can't win that anymore. So Tenby travelling to Abercrave in the quarterfinals of the Division 1 Cup will happen this Saturday. Division 3 Cup, who's New Dock Stars, 32-19 winners against Llandailo. You're on to the semis, my boy.
Hooray.
Tumble 23-11 winners at home against New Pantig. In Division 4, Tenby Athletic going down 24-0 at home to Bonham Mine Athletic. Revel somehow beating Ponteberem 17-13. This should be an inquest in this game. There's no way. Ponteberem are the best team in Division 4 across them all. How have they lost this? It's terrible. Llangadog winning 18-7 away to Treharris. Women's game, there were no fixtures this week for some stupid reason.
Oh,
obviously.
the Thunder played?
Yeah, we'll get to Thunder in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
So get it so quick. So in the Premiership, we got Barryport hosting Seven Sisters. Championship, Lampeter are hosting Whitland. Ooh, that's a nice class. And in the West Wales League, we got Newcastle Emlyn hosting to Croyce and Tubble travelling to Pembroke. That is the community side of the game sorted. So, as Hugh was just said, do we call them professional or semi-professional? What are Britain exactly?
I genuinely don't know what the actual deal is because it's not a full-time thing. So even if they are played as professionals for the 10 weeks that the program is going,
It's still semi.
And like an invitational tour side that doesn't tour.
I don't know, but they were away from home this week. They played against the Clovers in Ireland. The Clovers are
Oof.
Good. I think this was they played against them again. They played against these a couple of weeks ago. This is the one with the kit clash, where it's the red and green team against the red team. So
yeah, I remember
that. With red-green colorblindness are really having a fun time. Luckily, that affliction mostly affects men, so all the women who tuned in were fine. So unfortunately, the Thunder lost and are still winless this season, but it was again a credible performance. A Clovers team that is traditionally very strong. 29 points to 12 lost at home. Cecilia Tuipulotu again played, and apparently I didn't see much of the game, but I'm told that she played very well. I'm going to see who else was on the score sheet. I think Gwen Crabb was captain again. Just trying to find it.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
Captain Crab. He keeps
I found
scrolling. He doesn't know. There he is.
Yeah,
hey.
Cecilia Tuipulotu was there. Gwen Crabb was captain. We had Branwen Metcalf at
New 10 winner.
Sorry?
We had a new 10, didn't we? It wasn't.
We did. Fionn Williams was in it at scrum half. So we had Fionn. We had double Fionn. Halfback partnership. We had Fionn Lewis, experienced player at scrum half, and we had Fionn Williams at number 10, with Hannah Marshall dropping to the bench in the number 21 jersey. So yeah, sometimes our bench is a little bit confusing, but either way, they didn't win. But it was a credible performance after what was a very, very, very tough run out against Wolfhounds last week.
I mean, with this is the third season now. Like I'm getting kind of annoyed with like it's the same with Scarlets and with Peel. You know, we're not improving.
I would say that it's fair to say that Bristol Thunder are not improving, and I am getting a little bit wound up by it now.
Yeah, because I know Ashley Beck has a lot. And I mean a lot on his plate. But, we're talking 3 years with these girls, with some of these girls, and the ones you haven't had 3 years with, they are, top rated or, they're coming in from high places of esteem. Either, top of the class in under 20s or, in Cecilia Tuipulotu's case, and a full-blown international. These are not, common players you just picked up from a bloody pub on a Sunday afternoon, like. So
obviously not like bad talking Ashley Beck too much, because as you've said before, he has to both wash the kit, sew the kit, design the kit himself, drive the bus, perform essential mechanical maintenance on the bus, and everything else on top of that. Is it purely like a financial coaching thing, do you think? Like, is it literally just bring in 2 more coaches minimum?
Could be.
You would think that our resources are not that different from Gwalior Lightning. However, Gwalior are significantly better.
Oh yeah.
And probably the best, might be the second best team in the league behind Wolfhounds. So it's a difficult question to ask because there's a disadvantage coming from somewhere.
I'd like to know. I haven't looked properly at Gwalior's squad this year, but I know they picked up
The
a few of
pack
our
is
better
stronger, I would
players.
say.
No, they obviously Maisie Davis. I know she's always been Gwalior, but she's Stradi. She should have been ours from day dot. I don't understand how this split went down. It's as if they picked Gwalior as going to be the stronger team at day dot, and they're going to pick the players accordingly.
According to Hattie, the Gwalior Lightning team is a core of Cardiff Met players who play with each other all year round. Whereas
That makes sense.
Whereas Brisson is very much kind of throw a rock, whoever it hits, you're in the team kind of situation. So that's probably part of it. Probably a lot of it if you buy into cohesion analytics, which I broadly do.
Yeah.
But like Mark said, you would have hoped for a bit more progress than this.
Correct. So what's that, like 20 games down in Britain's history, and they've won, what, 4? Is that about right?
More than that.
I
I
wanna
think they've won
see.
half a dozen out of...
It's about 20
Yeah,
now,
20.
Isn't it? Okie dokie. So that brings us on to the, I want to say, final part of the pod. Am I right in saying final part?
As far as we
Before
know.
we do that, like, subscribe, hype, if that's a thing. I
Oh, yeah.
can't find a way to hype
Do that.
on the desktop version of
Yeah,
YouTube,
I've never seen it.
but do the things and look at the shop. Underneath the screen, you'll see lots of product going past. You can buy them if you would like to.
Yes,
I know
you can.
I know it's not our pod, but since Shea Hope has suddenly started doing really, really well, I do kind of want to get a "It's the Hope that kills you" mug from the Dragon's Lair. Because amazingly,
It works
Hope could
twice.
now be the savior, and I want to get a mug before they realize that and put a second one out.
Yeah, it works both ways, doesn't it? So I think that's a really good one. A really good one for the Dragons to have.
All the money is going to the same place. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, going to someone's back pocket. It's not coming to any of us presenters or guests or anything like that. Or even, well, actually, some equipment maybe. I'm pretty sure someone's got like a set of headphones.
Some equipment has been bought with the money, to be fair, to produce Lee.
Yeah, and we do get to sponsor one game of rugby a year. One game of which actually comes.
Mostly, all the money gets spent on lobbying to redesignate Pembroke as the capital of Wales.
Yeah, I have seen that. It's not going well, is it?
No, but he does spend a lot of money on it.
Well, it's the political party is the problem because he doesn't get enough votes at the local election. He loses the deposit.
Yeah.
So until that changes, it is just all going into a black hole of local politics.
Oh, this is some shit we're talking. Okay, Benetton Selection. What are we doing for this game?
Big Nige has already said on the telly that he selected a completely 100% different backline for this game. Now, Martin, my question to you is, are we allowed to just say what it is, or should I say what I think it should be, and you can tell me whether or not that you believe that is a good idea or not?
Yes, let's go with that one.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe scrum half Gareth Davis.
Gareth Davis sounds like a good call.
Okay.
I like that.
I'm thinking fly half, maybe Carwyn Leggett-Jones.
That sounds good, that does. I like the sound of that so far.
Okay, interesting. I'm thinking on one wing, maybe Max Page.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, I'm thinking maybe on the other wing, Tommy Lewis.
Yeah, it's what I pick.
Okay. And then in the centres, I'm thinking maybe Johnny Williams and Joe Roberts.
If it makes sense, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
And then at fullback, I'd probably go with, if it was me, Jack Davis.
Oh yeah, you look brilliant at 15. You can't not play Jack Davis in this.
Okay.
I think the only thing I might be considering personally is maybe give Badham a run. I don't know, but that's me talking. That's me and my one to play all the academy boys talking.
Okay, so that's what we think of the back line. So, what's new, John? What's your reaction to that?
It sounds and I can only go off of reactions and the feedback that I'm getting from both of you at the same time, very reasonable. And honestly, relatively likely. In terms of feedback of what I think of it, Max on the wing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about who's going to have the 23 shirt. And I'm guessing it's going to be Gabe. But
I
you
mean,
disagree?
I would
Is it you and
like
Nicholas
it to be
o'clock once
Badham.
again?
I would like it to be Badham, but I do have a feeling Yo and Nicholas's head is going to pop up. And why shouldn't it? We are talking like we're missing seven backs, six backs.
Yeah, we're
This
missing a
is
whole back
like
line.
this is like the religious holiday that comes once a year where we're like, this is Yo and Nicholasmas. Like this is the right time. This is when Yo and Nicholas should show up and have a really, really good game. Or at least like a
It
game
used
where
to be Steph Evansmas.
no, Steph Evansmas was the year 2016, was the season 2016-17. But I think yeah, I could see him doing well. 21 Archie.
Yeah, you
I
got to keep it
imagine.
with Archie.
22
It'll be Billy McBride.
big man McBride. Yeah.
Yeah, Rupert Moon's
Big
godson. You got to
William.
keep him in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, and then the pack. Can we just pick
Pack isn't too bad.
We're picking Chems, Warthog, Hezity.
What's the story with Jake Bull now? He's probably still not available, is he? Those look pretty nasty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the head injury stuff is, but it'd be 12 days from Northampton to Benetton, so I'm not sure if 12 days is still one they use. I don't know when it was last updated, but I can remember them saying if you fail a HIA, you've got to have like 12 days off.
They were talking about extending it at one point, so I find it hard to think that they would be.
I think at amateur level, it's 3 weeks.
20,
you have to have
yeah, it's 20,
yeah,
21 days. Because obviously, young Carwyn Lega Jones fell foul of that when he didn't move fast enough after dropping the ball over the line. Which was a funny story. He was there on the floor going, "Oh, I can't believe I just done that." For about 3 seconds, he got up.
So then
we had a little bit of slowness from Big M's internet there.
Yeah, they're running out of internet. It'll reset at midnight, but until then,
no.
So what about? Oh, it's a really great little thumbs up pose at the same time, though.
Yeah,
reminiscent of Pringle's picture with Johnny Williams.
Oh, there he goes.
Or Fletcher Anderson. There he is.
Right. Yes, you're moving again.
You're in motion. Yes. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Right. So second row, Lousy and Kirkson.
I was wondering when Douglas is back.
We should have been back for the Ulster game, shouldn't he? He only had a 1 week ban, unless he didn't do tackle school. Did he refuse to go to tackle school?
He didn't. Oh no, that's Champions Cup. I'm checking injuries. I'm checking excuses list.
I don't know how long.
Mark, we're really struggling with your internet, mate. So we're just going to plow on with the conversation. Okay?
No, we are though.
This is like the good old days.
Finished. He came back from Northampton, didn't he?
Oh, he did play against Northampton.
Oh, he did. He was unavailing due to injury / illness.
I know that.
He's on the excuses.
He played against. Who did he play against?
Northampton. You're right.
Okay, I'm just going to shut up.
But if he's fit, I would pick him over Coxon. But I don't have a problem with Coxon going.
Well, remember, there's no McLeod though, so you play
probably.
Max at 6, and
there's
no McLeod, there's no Tame. So okay, play him at 6, and then you got to go. They'll pick Dan Davis, but I would go Jared Taylor.
Taylor and Douglas. No, and Anderson. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah, you're a big fan. Okay.
Yeah, Big M's happy. And then Anderson at 8.
Yeah,
it's not a bad team.
So Marnus starting, obviously. Ben Shucker.
Yeah, Harry Thomas if he's fit.
Yeah,
This is
apparently he is.
Harry.
And
New Doc Star
yeah,
Zone.
and
And then Jack Price on the bench again. And then Dan Davis. Yeah, whichever Dan
mhm,
Davis and Jared Taylor doesn't start is the one on the bench.
yeah, that's it.
Not such a bad
Um,
team, really, at the end of the day.
it's not as bad as we worried, is it? And Benetton are missing. I think Benetton are more badly hit than we are.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're basically missing first players in almost every position except 9 and
It's
10.
going to be Jacob Umanga o'clock, baby.
Jacob Umanga. Although Roger played, I don't know who Nicola Roger is. Do you? He doesn't even have a picture.
Never heard of him.
No, he played against Cardiff. It'll be Umanga, Aren. Memonchello's out.
Yeah.
Is Marin out? I can't remember.
Might be Malachi Fekitoa.
No,
He's fit.
there's enough. We're probably getting, if Benetton put the strongest team out that they can, we're probably getting a 25% strength Benetton team if they put the strongest out they can. Their front row is more or less unchanged from the Cardiff game. Second row will probably be more or less unchanged. Back row, they've not got Canone, they've not got Suliani.
They're not great, though. They've won 4 games this year, but they've played Zebra twice already.
Mm. Without Menoncello, they're going to find it hard. Without Menoncello and a Dogwu, because a Dogwu basically plays like an extra 12, 13. I think they're going to find it hard. I think we're too good defensively in the back.
Going back to a question from before, giving Carlwood Leggett Jones the start with Calder in front of him and then Johnny and Joe behind him, that's the right situation to drop him in because they should help him. But taking a leap from that, I think that Johnny Williams needs a big game for the Scarlets because he's not had one yet this year. And New John, this is a debate that myself and Big M and whoever's been the other on the pod have had every single season of doing this podcast is the Johnny Williams debate. Because I was thinking about this the other day. For a player of his international okay. For a player of his international experience, for his general experience, for his age, he should be one of the senior players in this. He is one of the senior players at Scarlets, but he should be one of the linchpins for the Scarlets team, and he's not.
He seems to be in the squad itself off the field, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I just don't think. I don't think he's our second best 12, and I don't think he's our second best 13, and I think that's the problem. He needs to have a big game, but I'm also not particularly interested in not renewing his contract anytime soon because I think these are the games where he kind of this maybe it's a little bit harsh on him. He's drifting into Johan Nicholas territory.
Ooh.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can still pull out a banger. Come on.
So can Johan Nicholas, to be fair. They're getting a little bit fewer and further between. And I have a lot of time for Johan Nicholas. But
Because he's your twin.
No, he's not as good looking as me, man. It's like I just think I just if he doesn't have a couple of those standout games now before the end of the season or just moments within games, because what was the standout moment in the game on the weekend? It was that offload from the floor, which could have had us really ripping into him over this game if that hadn't been called back for the head contact. Let's be honest. That was his defining moment of the game. And so it's tough to say he needs it, but I feel like to avoid falling into the lower ranks of like what's going to happen when Gabe McDonald starts coming up the ranks now? Like, where's he going to stand in the hierarchy when it comes to that? You know,
well, I said it on the pod when Johnny Williams renewed his contract at the end of last year. I was like, that feels a bit like a luxury when you consider our lack of depth in other places. And he kind of feels like a bit of a third wheel at the moment. Like you said, John, like
it's
people in the Scarlets swear by him though. So because people in the Scarlets who are like, no, he's the guy. So they obviously know something that we don't know. But
I still think you just by his like
he's just good fun.
I think he's a nice guy. I think he's either a really nice guy or he's a lot of fun on a night out. Genuine.
He's
It's not a
clearly
bad
a
thing.
leader
You
in
need
the
them. You
squad.
need those people in your squad. But like,
He's clearly a leader in the squad. He's head of the cool kids table, as we've established many times on this podcast. But he needs a big game, for me, is what I'm saying.
he does. He does.
Like,
But I don't think this needs to be that game. I just think he needs to be stable in this game. Sorry,
for
Mark.
me, John seems like the type of guy that's going to pull the ball when you're out.
Is that a reference?
No idea. I think it might be best if we just end it now, to be honest.
I don't feel like that came through in a clear enough way.
It's my
And
stupid
yet I
internet
know
that keeps saying
exactly what you said, I feel like. Yeah.
I'm just admiring that scarf that you got behind you, John. I think we're gonna have to get me one of them.
It's it was on offer in the shop when I was there. And honestly, in person, don't look that nice.
Does it not? It looks good on the screen.
Yeah, it's grey, see. When you bring it in close, it's a little, I thought it was
Okay.
blue when I saw it from far away, and I was quite into that because I
Yeah,
thought it was
that's
like
where
the
I
old.
was. Yeah,
I was thinking it was the old Connectly blue, like there is on the kit this year. But
yeah, that's what I thought
no,
it was.
yeah. If it
Oh,
were
they missed
blue,
a trick there.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Mark
But
says just end
I'll
the
buy
pod without
anything
me
that
talking.
has Parker Strati on the back of it. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap it up there. Big M is frozen on the screen. But we unfortunately have to end. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Subscribe to Rap and follow us and 5-star review and share a link with your friends. Oh yeah, we found
Picks.
out like the guy you sorry, what are you saying?
We haven't done picks.
Oh, Scarlets by 2.
Draw. No.
Did you say Scarlets by 5 last week? Did you get it right?
Scarlets by 5.
Yeah. We found out the guy who was talking to Benji on the doorstep said that he didn't know this pod existed. And he started, once he found out about it, he started listening to it. So tell mates, if you've got Scarlets mates, tell them, oh, by the way, there's a Scarlets pod. Because we've done quite good numbers the last couple of weeks as well. So anyway, that's the end of the show. Thank you. Bye.